Hey, y'all, welcome to Geek Freaks. I am Frank, and today I'm joined by Jonathan.
Hey, yo.
And we have Squeaks.
Squeakers.
Squeakers. Okay. Wow.
I like it.
That's different. Okay. All right, Squeakers.
I really wanted to start off with just a super loud F-bomb, but I wasn't going to go there this time.
We're definitely not going to go there. This week we're going to be talking about the new One Piece trailer. Going to be going to Squeakers for information on that. We have some casting updates to go over.
Ready for that.
We're going to be discussing the return of big space operas, why that's starting to make a resurgence. And then we have the second part of our Distance Learning interview. Squeakers. You submitted the question of the week for us this week. And the question is, what fictional character would thrive on social media? Now, this kind of follows in with that whole Superman movie thing where he was joking around about like not wanting to pay attention to social media, but he was. Since this is your question, what's your answer?
Okay, so I didn't want to go with like obvious, maybe like superheroes or villains. So I kind of like really was digging for something. And what I found out, or who I think I would follow on social media would be Star-Lord. And the only reason why, because he travels so much at different like, we talked about selfies before, but we talked like him with different aliens, different species, fighting out of different things.
A lot of parties.
You get like with the maybe like funny times with the other individuals of the Guardians of the Galaxy. So I think Star-Lord would be my pick. I think that'd be a funny one.
Yeah, he does have that like cocky personality too. That
exactly
would succeed in social media. So mine's totally different because I'm thinking like thriving on social media doesn't mean everybody loves you, but it means that you have a huge following. And so I'm like, Batman villains especially, but like the Joker, Harley Quinn, or especially the Riddler. Imagine the cult the Riddler would create using social media.
That's literally what Batman is about, is that he has a big social media presence. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, for sure the Riddler.
Yeah, that's a good one. I went with the Flash because I thought he's going to be doing selfies all over the world as fast as you can. I was even talking about this with Squeaks last night. Like, you're at the pyramids and then like 30 seconds later on, you're at the Great Wall of China. You can do that. And then he can also time travel too. So he's like, oh, hey, here's my buddy Genghis Khan. And then he like goes forward a little bit like, hey, here's Napoleon. He could just jump around wherever he wants to. I think he'd be fun. Plus, he does also have that kind of Spider-Man-esque, Star-Lord-esque cocky personality, or like a quip kind of guy. So he's going to have some jokes. And there
you go.
Yeah, that'd be blessed. Like, hey, this is from inside the Batcave, stuff like that. So that'd be really good.
It'd be funny to have like showing off like on accident, I guess, accidental. So that's what's going on at Star's Lab.
Yeah,
like something happens that's bad and actually gets leaked or something.
Yeah, doing live streams from that treadmill that he's on all the time, that like infinite treadmill. Yeah. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get into the news for this week, and we're going to be starting off with a reaction to the One Piece Season 2 trailer. Squeaks, you being the person who's seen the most One Piece, what is some of the stuff you pulled from this trailer?
Yeah, a lot actually. So I'm really surprised that seems like they're bringing multiple arcs into this one season, which is awesome because I feel like this season's going to be jam-packed with just constant things going on where it doesn't feel like a dull at all. Okay. We noticed at one time there was a whale being swallowed, or a whale, like they were going into that. So that's an arc there where they're getting swallowed, and then like inside the whale there's like this whole island and way to navigate out of it. And that's gonna, I think, called the Reverse Mountain arc. You got the Whiskey Peak arc, you got the little garden, the Drum Island. And essentially, this whole arc is Alabasta, and that's going to lead to characters showing up, like one of the favorites, Nico Robin, that's still in the series right now. We got Smoker. You saw him. Obviously, you could probably tell which one's Smoker with the big cigar sticking out of his mouth. Doesn't
he come back a few times? Like, he's in charge of the Marines in that area, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have, let's see, who else were we getting? Vivi is going to be... essentially they're helping this character named Vivi. She's the blue hair one. If you saw like jumping off of something, whatever, to do some yo-yo attack or some shit. But they're helping Vivi out because of this civil war that's happening in Alabasta. And that's without like giving too much. If anybody hasn't watched it, they're just watching the series. I won't say too much, but she's going to be a vital character. Also, what I didn't see with this trailer that we saw, what was it released at Comic-Con, was Chopper being announced.
Right.
I believe we will get the arc that's going into the Drum Island, which essentially, I'm going to say a little bit spoilers, of Nani being extremely sick and they have to find a way to help her out, or cure her while she's like slowly dying. But that's where Chopper's released. Chopper's going to be that medic that's on the ship.
Yeah.
So that's how that ties into why he's needed to be on the ship.
like focus on because he's a CGI character? So do you think they're going to push him towards the end of the season so that he's less expensive?
Watching this trailer kind of seems that way, which I wasn't expecting since they announced it at the San Diego Comic-Con. So, yeah, I guess we'll see how that goes, which is kind of a bummer, right? Because people were pretty hyped about that when it was announced.
And then it seems like a few of these episodes are going to be in, I want to say it's Logtown. It's the town that the first like captain was executed that put the One Piece out there, right?
Yeah, I think that's where the they have like they think it's a friendly town, but it's all full of bandits. And
I think that's where
right?
It looks like a lot of this is taking place in one city, essentially, right? So I'm wondering if we're gonna have a little less spacefaring and a little more in this one city.
See, I don't know. I was getting different vibes when I was watching the trailer because the other city is Alabasta, and that's where I feel like this story's going.
Okay.
So I feel like there's going to be tons of jumping around in this season. And I mean, obviously I could be wrong. This is just a little trailer and you try to pull anything that you can out of this. But that's how I see this season going to be, just like full of like bang, 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 bang. Right. And then just no rest really.
And that Reverse Mountain, I think is the name for it. Does that take very long for them to go through that? Is that multiple episodes or is that going to be like one?
It is multiple episodes, but it's not one of the like, man, on top of my head, shoot, I can't imagine. Is it 5? Maybe not more than 10.
Okay.
Like that. Yeah.
Because Smoker, he's on the side that they're on right now of Reverse Mountain. Does he follow them through to the Grand Line as well?
I don't remember any following. Again, this is super early in a 1,000 episode anime. I don't remember any following, but I do just remember him being there causing problems when they're in Alabasta, if I remember. I keep saying Alabasta because I know that's what we're leading into.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get a picture of like the pacing for this. As someone who has no clue, I just like Google stuff, for, basically. And so just trying to get an idea of who these characters are because, man, the characters look so outlandish and they seem to stick as close as you could to an anime. Is that your perception when you see like these like a giant walking around next to the ship and stuff?
Yeah, most definitely. And that's a storyline in itself, too. They landing into like this island that's Little Garden is what I mentioned, and which is basically like two big Viking heroes that were like brothers, whoever, that love to fight with each other and but in a sporting way. Yeah. So like there's so much into this one. But yeah, most definitely. And I think that's what made season 1 successful is keeping true to the animation and how silly it is.
Yeah.
Anything that's veering off, people obviously, the fandom is going to go nuts, right? So keep that same feeling, even if it is wonky. I mean, come on, the guy has 2 cigars sticking out of his mouth, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a plus, and I think it's working, or it did work, and they're going to continue to do it this way.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting our dynamics here, and it's generally how a lot of things work on this is like, you know more than I do. I Google things. Jonathan, you're not familiar at all with One Piece, correct?
No, I watched the first 5 or 6 episodes of the first season.
So when you see this trailer, is there anything that like that speaks to you that sparks your interest?
It just looks really, like he's saying, like it's going to be action packed. So it actually makes me want to go back and finish the first season before this one comes out. But yeah, that's it. I mean, there's a lot going on to it, so you'd have to like stop it scene by scene and pick it apart. There's so much, but it definitely looks like a lot of fun.
Would you ever be interested in watching the anime itself?
I tried. It was just, I don't know. It didn't catch my interest.
It's not my kind of anime either, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I did like the 5 or 6 episodes of the first season that I watched, so I just got to go through and give it more time to finish it.
What about Frank? What's you watched season 1?
I did, yes.
Okay, and this is like season 2, something you're just going to kind of watch because of it's kind of like the hot thing right now, or is it something you actually want to
really
watch?
Liked it. I really like season 1, so I'm really looking forward to season 2. And it makes it to where I want to look into the anime, but not actually watch I tried watching the anime as well, couldn't get into it.
Yes.
So it's one of those things where it's like it makes me interested in that world, but not enough to invest that kind of time. I actually think I'd be much more into reading the manga because I think reading the manga is gonna be faster than actually watching the anime.
Yeah, for sure.
Whole thing. So
yeah, I actually, and I'm gonna say I don't care. People hate on me. I have a list of episodes to skip to make this an easier watch because I can't do fillers. Ever since like watching Naruto Shippuden, it's one of those things where like, hey, this whole series has led up to this awesome, like great war at the end. here we are, finally. Oh, no, we're going to give you 10 episodes of just past stuff.
Yeah.
No, you're not, bitch. Like, I'm ready for this war.
I have a hard time skipping filler episodes. I just feel it feels so incomplete. But usually the anime I watch don't have a lot of filler episodes. Even like if you talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender, the filler episodes give you things like the Blue Spirit. You're not going to pass those up. You know?
They progress the story slower, but they develop the character so much deeper.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's hard to ever justify passing those things up.
Yeah.
Moving on to some remakes. Man, Hollywood, they love to remake and reboot things. We've been talking about the Highlander, and they just cast Dave Bautista as the villain. What is? I want to make sure to say it right because I got a whole bunch of people hating me online right now. It's crazy. But he's gonna be playing Kurgan with an A in there. Dear God, I put an E in it, and I had to hear a bunch of shit. So he's gonna be playing Kurgan, which is, he's a serial killing barbarian-like character. I know. I can guarantee you neither of you guys have watched Highlander. Is that correct?
Nope.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. The idea is that it's a bunch of warriors that they can only they like basically take powers as they kill each other and stuff like that. What you need to know is that Russell Crowe and Henry Cavill are playing in this movie, and Dave Bautista is the bad guy. That alone, if you told me anything else, would be it. And I just want to stop real quick and mention that Squeaks just drank out of a gigantic The Thing fist.
I didn't think you would actually notice that, to be honest.
How did I not notice that?
It's just a water bottle, guys. Come on, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's wild, man. So one thing, I thought this was cool because I'm like, hey, I love the Dave Bautista. I mentioned it online, and so many people start dogging on this right away, saying that Dave Bautista is too skinny now, that he's a bad actor, which I'm like, I don't think he's a bad actor. I mean, I love Drax and a lot of the things he does. What are your impressions of Dave Bautista and then like him taking on a villain role?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. We've seen it before with, oh my goodness, Dune, right? He was in the second Dune? Yeah. So we see the villain role is totally fine. And honestly, Drax is somewhat of a, I mean, I could see him play that villain portrayal in the very beginning before they actually teamed up.
Right.
So, and I think that's totally, I'm not worried about that at all. Yeah. I think to call him skinny is just wild because if that's skinny, then damn, let me be.
Can I be his skinny?
That big. Yeah,
he has lost a lot of bulk though. I mean, he's a lot healthier than he used to be. That's his thing. It's like he was making himself unhealthy by bulking up so much. And now he's at a much more reasonable weight is what he says. Yeah.
And that doesn't have to define an actor too, because like you see actors all the time that bulk up and work out and train for certain roles. So if they need him to have bigger arms or whatever, he can get there. We've seen him there before. It's not like it's something he can't accomplish.
Just his Hollywood diets. They're insane. One movie you're skinny, one movie you're super big,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he's a good actor, especially when they cast him for roles that he obviously fits well. So, this sounds like a perfect kind of fit for him. You're not trying to make him into a Shakespeare character or something like that. This is right up his alley.
Yeah. Kurgan is like a barbarian. He wears bone armor. I mean, this feels like and I got so much. I currently have just notification after notification. People like, he sucks. Dave Bautista sucks. I'm like, I don't think he does. I think he's pretty awesome, actually, frankly. But I have also got a lot of comments saying I'm tired of remakes. I'm tired of reboots. And I could see that. We are definitely getting a lot of those. That being said, I think there are some things from the 80s, Highlander being from the 80s, that do deserve coming back. So I'll start with the thing I'm thinking should come back, and then you guys kind of cook up some ideas over there. But there's a little movie, it had multiple sequels, that I watched like a fiend as a kid called Short Circuit. And the idea...
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's a good one.
It is a good one. The idea of Short Circuit is there's a bunch of robots that they end up being adorable, get struck by lightning, and one of them escapes the military base and ends up like shacking up with a lady. He finds this lady, stays on her property. The inventor and a programmer or whatever of the robot find that it's there, and they're both trying to like help him have freedom. And he's cute, he's a little squeaky. And I think nowadays with AI being such a big deal, and we have all these robotics from Boston Lab and stuff, bring this back. Because I think there's a lot of story out there to be told about, like, it's a classic Star Trek trope, right? You take the EMH or you take Data, and they're the ones, the non-humans, that show you what it is to be human. Do that with this, right? This guy is experiencing human. He's like, this is friendship. And so Yeah, Short Circuit, I think, definitely needs to be brought back, and I think it's the perfect time to tell that story right now.
So to modernize that, I think it would be make a bigger impact to make it to where it's not a physical little robot that somebody built, but it is an AI that created that developed its own consciousness.
Yeah,
and it's a digital, life. And so there's like a kid, think like Transformers, where you got the kid working with the robot or whatever, and it's communicating with this kid, trying to find a way to get out of the internet or to get out of the computer, the technology, so it can have freedom and live on. And this whole debate of like, I just don't want to die. I don't want to get deleted or something like that. So I don't want to be found out. How can I escape this and be in a world or a place where I can, survive on after people find out what I am and stuff like that. So whatever you escape to, you have to keep, power, keep it energized, but also be off the grid to some extent.
And so using the kid companion is a great idea, because then you have the idea of like loneliness and aging and what it means to have like the kid himself is going through a lot of discovering what adulthood is, and then having that other perspective from an outsider like this robot or AI is a new way of exploring that. I like that a lot. That's a good coming of age story happening right there.
Yep. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Let's see if we can get Steven Spielberg on this. We'll talk to him and see what we could do. I think this is a good idea.
We need a direct line. Come on, Hollywood.
I know. Where's my Hollywood red phone? I should have it right next to me.
Right. Okay, so the one I want to talk about is highly controversial. You think you're getting hate right now. You're going to get a whole lot more once we talk about this one. Boy. But it's time. This is such a nostalgic movie, such a good movie. And speaking of nostalgia, though, I don't want to just recreate movies to sell tickets because of the headline or the title. Yeah. I think that's the problem with nostalgia right now with these reboots. The companies are taking advantage of the fact that the name, some of the tropes or whatever from the past. So we'll make a cheap, kind of quick, easy movie that's got this big name on it, and everyone's going to buy tickets just because, it's available. Now, the one that we need to take a lot of time and effort into is Back to the Future. Huge franchise. Everybody loved it. It's plenty old now, though, where we could totally... Yeah. Is it already in the works? Is that why you're laughing?
I'm laughing
because... I was going to say, is it? That's news.
No, I'm laughing because you gave it such a preamble of like, I'm like, what is this going to be? Is it going to be super racist? Yeah. Is it going to be about no. Back to the Future? One of the softest fucking movies you could have named. Oh, I'm the one that dropped the first F-bomb. Holy cow. But one of those softest movies you could have named. And I was like, a sigh of relief, because I don't have to edit out Jonathan saying something crazy dangerous.
Really bad. Yeah, no. It's a soft movie, but imagine the controversy. It's so protected by time. The controversy that people are going to have when you say that it needs to be remade. Yeah. It's not like, political or anything like that. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Everything is made political these days, but I think it would be it's such a good movie. So I think if we remake it, everybody's going to want to see it. I just hope that they take the time and put the serious money and effort into making it good. Like, some of the newer movies, like the Superman movie and Fantastic Four, they took the time. Yeah. It wasn't just a shoehorn, it's cash grab kind of thing. So,
because frankly, I feel like those movies are still perfect. I mean, I even like the third one. And so even when you're saying like, let's remake those, I'm like, but that is the point that you're trying to make, the controversy behind it of trying to change that. By the way, Christopher Lloyd, Doc Brown, is going to be at San Francisco Fan Expo this November. So maybe we'll have a chance to meet him. That would be incredible. Would be cool. Yeah. All right, Squeaks, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so this one was kind of tough because I was looking at movies that could be modernized, like Once Upon a Time in America. But then I was like, well, we've seen movies that have been pretty successful during, like current era. And then I was thinking, like, what about action movies? But I was like, no, I'm going to go back. And you mentioned Steven Spielberg. And I actually would love to see this just because I feel like I've seen this when I was little so many times. And it was a wonderful ride at Universal Studios. So I'm going to go with E.T. I would like to know what happens when he goes home. What is it?
Oh, so you're saying like it's a sequel, not a remake.
Yeah. Let's not do a remake. Let's continue. I feel like there's a lot of story that could be told still, which it'll probably bomb because it's such a nostalgia movie, like Jonathan was talking about Back to the Future. But I would love to see like, okay, what, give me like an It vibe, right? Not in a scary form, but when, they grow up, the kids grow up.
All the good parts from It. What are you talking about? I'm a big fan of balloons. I just like balloons and seeing people, float down here.
I was waiting for something to catch on. That's a weird comparison, but okay.
See the rest of the circus without it.
Yeah.
But wonder if like, okay, this alien comes down in 2026, right? E.T. now phones to you and needs help, right? And the kids have to help him again.
E.T. text home.
Yeah.
E.T.'s moving out. He's coming back with all his luggage.
Would you ever want to explore that throwaway cameo in Star Wars where E.T. is actually part of the Senate? You know, like in...
Oh my goodness gracious, that'd be hilarious if they did like a reboot E.T., but that's like what some of the charges that he has to do now, like responsibilities.
Yeah, like,
that'd be funny.
Like if he's like, I gotta go, Padme's asking me to do something or whatever, and he has to go deal with Senate questions and stuff. I wonder if that would ever be worth exploring. Because I know outside of just the cameos that we've got, you know, back and forth and stuff like that. But yeah.
That's funny. I forgot about that one.
Tell Marco good morning since we can hear him in the background.
Yeah, you can hear him. Let me go get him real quick.
You're good. Let's move to Zach Cregger. He wrote a DC film. You're the one that brought this up to me. And he wrote a script for a DC film, let's clarify, called Henchman. And can you tell us a little bit about this story for us, Squeaks?
I can't tell you about the story, but I know the idea is just following a low-level villain that actually has beat up Batman at one point, or will beat up Batman. And I think they want to keep it in this like super dark horror aspect where it's not going to be tailored in so much of what's going on with the DCU right now. And that makes sense when you're looking at Zach's record. Right, he's got Barbarian, which I thought was a really good movie. I think he's in the. I thought I saw some with weapons, but I don't think so. The most recent thing that I'm more familiar with is Barbarian. I really like that, and that was such a weird off movie as well because really creepy. But then you start getting this like monster at the end, so it really felt like, honestly, felt like an '80s horror film.
Yeah.
And with that, and this rumor of like what that movie might look like, I kind of want to stick to, I'm going to say like a villain now already. Victor Saz.
Oh yeah, Victor he's very underutilized.
Yeah, and he's so like creeped out with him, with the serial killer vibe of him. With he's marking himself with the amount of kills that he has. I could see like the movie maybe like going straight to the Arkham Asylum and see this like maybe breakout or just something that's really tailored to what I've seen Zach's movies before. So that's what I was trying to think of too. Other than that, like maybe Firefly or something. But who do you think would be a good low-level villain that can have a big impact in a movie of like incapacitating Batman?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? So the idea of this is he basically almost accidentally, the pitch from Cregger is that he almost accidentally incapacitates Batman. And so why is that a big deal? I bet it's because the other villains are wanting to know how, maybe like he's getting the interest of other villains. And so it's about him trying to stay ahead of everybody else. Personally, I think the story I would want to hear from this universe without having to deal with heroes and villains is Arkham Asylum. And like, let's get the story of the people that are in Arkham that are not the Jokers, that are not the Riddlers, that are just a group of people that are that are trying to survive in this crazy ass world and are trying to, like, can you imagine trying to become mentally sound in a world where there's literally like a guy hiding in the shadows that beats up people who steal stuff? And, there are multiple, he's the good guy. There are multiple corrupt billionaires and you're next to a clown that just like blew up a ferry, a couple weeks ago. So I think it would be interesting to kind of explore the actual like mental breakdown of the citizens of Arkham, of Gotham, and like Arkham's where they end up if they break too much, and that's like inevitable in this world. Yeah,
and that might make sense with the whole Harley Quinn and Joker being involved in this thing because I know they had pitches, so you could get Harley Quinn maybe
I would love that idea because I think the best one of the Harley Quinn's got some of the best stories at all of DC right now in the last 20 years. But yeah, that first falling in love with Joker is a very good one, and it could be the story we should have got out of Joker too. Whatever, who's not worth remembering
Trash.
Anymore. Yeah, and we should have got that story, but we didn't.
That'd be because maybe that's that hint of like of them popping up as something more settled than it is.
Yeah,
but I think this is supposed to be just like a blue collar henchman, right? Like when you think about all these guards, all these disposable guys that every villain has, they send 20 at Batman from this side and 20 from that side, and they all just get backflipped and knocked out or whatever, tossed off the bridge. Well, they're out there doing this for a reason. They probably got kids and a wife at home, and they're trying to find a way in this corrupt city that they could just make enough money to take care of their family, right? None of them are the billionaires. They're just regular, iron workers or whatever that they're company shut down. Now they got to do whatever they could do. So to show this story where this guy accidentally incapacitates the biggest, hero that his boss has been trying to catch. Imagine it's like finding a big cache of money, but at the same time, it's like, well, crap, I gotta keep the bag hidden because somebody else is gonna find it. So where do I take Batman? Do I just shoot him in the head? Like he's a good person for the people, so I don't really want to like kill him. But at the same time, I need this to be profitable for me. Do I sell him to one of my bosses? But they're gonna kill him. This whole moral dilemma of like, what do I do? Do I protect the people or protect myself? And meanwhile, while he's trying to find somewhere to hide Batman, maybe keep him drugged or something like that so he stays incapacitated, then he sees the bat signal going off. And he's like, oh shit, the Riddler's doing something, or the Joker just blew up a bridge, or people are dying out there, and I have him right here. Like the only one that could stop them. I'm keeping him tied up. And so this whole like struggle of like, how long do I keep him incapacitated? And at what point is this, causing more harm than good? And I think in the end, the story is that like, just like when Spider-Man collapses and people pick him up and carry him, the city protects him. Like, I think he'll have a ragtag group of friends that help him with his decision maybe. But, then as a group or whatever, they decide, we need to bring him back and keep him safe because the city needs him more than we need to, get wealthy. So I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, pretty interesting. I can see that, like maybe like if Bruce Wayne maybe like did something to where like the worker was out of business or something, bought a building and changed it or something like that. Now he has to lead into crime to kind of get that going.
Yeah, which is how Tony Stark started Vulture in the MCU. Same thing. Exactly. He's cleaning up.
Yeah. But do we think we can like it'd be successful following a no-namer? And I always say that because thinking about the Penguin series, right? We have the kid with Penguin. Is the kid as interesting if Penguin wasn't involved with it? Like, do we care anymore?
No. So we gave it a chance more because of the Penguin name. Then let people, because I think the kid Vince or whatever it was,
Vic,
not as important as oh no, I can't remember her name. Falcone's daughter, right?
Oh,
she was a way bigger character to me. But not a character I would have given a shot either if it wasn't for the Penguin. Once the Penguin started, then I'm like, oh, I'm invested in her. I want to see where she goes. Yeah.
But before the Penguin story, I mean, he's not a super anything. He's a politician. So he himself is just like a henchman, actually, that grew. Yeah. So this would be the story of a henchman that we just don't know their name yet, but them, finding power.
It'd be kind of cool if... Go ahead.
Well, one of the things I think is the most important about this piece of news that Squeaks found is I like the idea of just really good writers and directors coming up with ideas they think would work well in DC, and then bringing that to Peter Safran, bringing that to James Gunn and saying, hey, what do you guys think? Because he has not submitted this script yet. So right now it's essentially fan fiction. But the idea that somebody who makes such good work has the thought to make this script and then be willing to, because I can't imagine somebody doing that with Marvel. But I think DC is setting up a place where they could foster that, the Elseworlds stories. And I like that. I think that's how we're going to get better movies.
Yeah, you never know what that might be grown into.
Yeah.
It does seem pretty exciting that these writers do want to have this space that where they feel like that maybe their work can be shown off. And we've seen it with Joker to where it doesn't really necessarily have to fall into James Gunn's plan. But he said himself he wants different feels for different movies. So this might get a whole variety of writers that come to a table and create something phenomenal, which you never know. One of these things might have to like be in the DCU because it might be so successful. You never know.
We're going to do a little bit of a game at the end of this episode that'll kind of lead into this too. I'm just going to put that teaser out there because we have a few things to go over first, but I got to go to it. Squeaks, have you been thinking about this since we talked about it last night? Have you thought about your piece of news you're going to do? I'm going to put it out there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm just teasing that so we can get going. But yeah, we'll go further into this here pretty soon. But for now, let's move into our discussion of the week. So our discussion of the week is the return of big budget space operas. It's been something we've been seeing lately. 70s and 80s, they thrived, famously Star Wars and whatnot. But before we go any further, defining space operas. When you guys think of the term space opera, what are the movies that come to mind for you?
Spaceballs.
Technically, yes.
Of course, Star Wars and Star Trek, but then the Fifth Element, because of the opera term there, always is like, because the singing alien in it.
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 for me, like 3 really especially. Those are very big, space operas.
Oh, and Titan AE is like my favorite space opera. That's always top of my list.
Yeah. That is a good one.
Such a good movie. That's when we're talking about remakes. That's the one that needs a live action movie. That would be so good.
Frankly, you know what that needs is people to go watch the damn movie.
Yeah, watch the original.
Yeah.
It's like a star-studded cast too. I can't believe you look it up.
Matt
It's like
Damon
all these
and
great
stuff.
actors.
It is nuts.
Yeah, Drew Barrymore.
So recently, you know, they kind of went on hiatus, and a couple that did come out, like Jupiter Ascending and stuff like that, they all bombed terribly. And so, but lately there's been talks, and I think it might be because of like Dune and stuff like that, and Andor, a rise in wanting more space operas and for them to return. So we have Star Wars Starfighter famously coming back. My question for you guys is, are we headed into the next golden era of space operas, and why is that a good or a bad thing? So a couple reasons why I think this is starting to become big is I think after the pandemic, when things were just streaming only and whatnot, we're starting to, and the theaters are kind of dying. I think personally, I want to go to the theaters for the spectacle. Like I'm willing to go to IMAX, like Fantastic Four, all about seeing that world on the big screen was where it's at. Do you guys feel like that's something that's coming up with space operas, like the big space movies, is that it's about the spectacle in a big theater?
Might be right with Dune. I think Dune was a perfect one with that. Spaceships, the explosions, those sandworms. I mean, that might be that pull that's needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's the case because, I mean, I haven't seen a lot of these big budget movies coming back too much yet, but I'm hoping that's a trend because like we were just talking about earlier, these nostalgic movies that are just kind of cookie cutter cheap ones that are using the brand and the name to sell. I think people are getting tired of those. You don't want, 10 easy movies in a year that aren't catching your attention. You want one or two big blockbusters, top budget. Somebody spent 5 years to get this thing developed. And, like when Avatar first came out, that was huge and, revolutionary technology used in it and stuff like that. Let's get some more big, beautiful movies like that are going to win all the awards, and one or two a year is plenty. We don't need to do like Marvel's trying to pump out 5 or 6 movies in a year, which we've seen now. They've scaled back their timeline and I think they've seen that too much is too much. They're starting to get to that point. But
What if we had different feels, John? Wonder if like some of the is like that action-packed space ones, but then we also get some horror elements to it. I mean, I'm just gonna throw in like maybe you can make Alien a little bit different than what it is right now to make it consider a space opera.
Well, the key I think with the idea of these big space movies is they're so grand that they frankly don't do good on your TV. When nowadays, if I'm gonna go watch like a mid-budget movie or even like say Thunderbolts, a movie that is a lot more character based, I don't necessarily need to see that in the theaters because it's not about the grand spectacle. Okay. But if we're talking about Avatar is a really good example. Let's go with Avatar for this example. The first Avatar I watched a couple times in theaters. Remember 3D was like the new thing again. But then Way of the Water came out and Squeaks was telling me, you got to watch it. So I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it eventually. I ended up watching it on Disney Plus. Very good movie. But while I'm watching it on Disney Plus, the thing that kept coming to my mind is, I should have saw this bad boy in theaters. This thing needed a big screen. And now
we watched the IMAX 3D.
Well, and now the next movie that's coming up, I will definitely be watching at the Delta Shores IMAX. Because I'm like, this thing deserves to be on the IMAX. And then Fantastic Four on IMAX was worth the extra money too. So I think that's a key thing with the space movies over most other movies, even some Marvel and DC, is that they require the bigger screen to really enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
So outside of movies, do you think this is a push for like updated movie theaters everywhere, essentially? Because then people want to change to go to maybe drive a little further to hit that IMAX theater. So I'm thinking, for example, right now, like my theater doesn't have an IMAX, the closest one to me. So I would have to drive like 45 minutes to that. You think this might be a push? Like, hey, we need to update our stuff because we might see a drop in sales of certain movies.
I could see that. Yeah, because I mean,
I don't know. Why not?
We might have a little bit of a bias here. We're fortunate enough to live in an area. California's just this way. And, entertainment industry is a big part of our industry. So basically every theater in our area has like recliners, bars, Starbucks, things like that. I know
I really hate myself. The one I always go to does not have any of that.
Oh, really? Okay. See, that's the thing.
Yeah, it does not. So that's
When I hear from friends that live across the country, they don't necessarily have these amenities. I have 4 theaters near me that all have recliners and bars, so it's a whole different.
Yeah, the theater next to me, I still have to put the armrest down. When's the last time you ever had to do that?
Yeah, I mean, mine does, but it's because it's where the recliner buttons are. Yeah. It's,
yeah.
So yeah, I think that's definitely a big push. We have the 4D, the the XD stuff now, and of course IMAX. I think that's part of it. They have to make it more of an event, and these kind of movies help that quite a bit.
And speaking about making it an event, I would love if they did like, big grand release with a couple of the cast members at select theaters.
Yeah.
Selling a bunch of merch and stuff like that. Like make it put a bigger hype at the theater. I know that's hard because there's tons of theaters.
Yeah.
So it can't just be, at all of them. They got to pick a few select ones. But I mean, that would be so much more fun to have a big release where you have kind of like a mini convention at the theater.
Yeah. Yeah. And Marco agrees. Marco says that he wants more Star Wars. Yeah.
Unfortunately, my wife was up until 4 a.m. So now let me go take care of it.
You're good. You're good. Yeah. I think another.
Is she partying then?
Well, yeah, no, it was because she was like dyeing the niece's hair. So it was like, well,
it sounds like it was her choice. So.
Yeah. So another thing too that I have here in the notes is that another reason space operas are doing so well is because it's like proven fans. So, of course, if a new Star Wars comes out, even if I'm not super into the production or whatever of like this particular version of Star Wars, I'm probably going to see it in theaters, much like how Marvel has a hold on us.
Yeah.
And I think other movies that come to theaters don't have that built-in fan base that, say, bringing back Avatar or another big space opera would have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I can see some of that being a downfall for the reason that a lot of these space operas have wonderful stories tailored to them. I'd never been into Dune in my life until that first one came out, and I love that universe. Some of these like random ones, Interstellar was a massive one that like I didn't know too much about, but I heard good things about the story itself. And it's like that's what's needed now. If you put Star Wars name on it, will that still have the same attraction with how people are feeling about Star Wars now? I mean, you've seen I think it'll be very much Andor feels if you were to see like a space opera in the movie theater. And of course, then the rumors will come out like, oh, this is a great story, blah, 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 blah. It's not just normal, typical Star Wars, like the latest sequel.
But I think they have an advantage, though, right? In theaters. Like, if it says Star Wars on it, I think it has an advantage over something they just call, like, Star Adventures. I think
I don't know. I can see it.
Viewership.
I can see or heard it at the same time because I think people are getting that fatigue. So I'd be very interesting to see.
On the production side, right? Because if it is a Star Wars, we saw that a lot with Marvel, where it's like, we don't necessarily need to put it feels like we don't necessarily need to put the effort in because it's a Star Wars movie. They're all going to watch it anyways. That might give them some laziness and a scapegoat.
And that hurt them the last sequel. I'll say it. I mean, that's a super, I'm gonna just not say it back, an asshole way to think of that you're going to put a movie out like that, just to kind of, like it'll make money, whatever. It has a name on it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
couple of things coming up for these space operas that we're really kind of looking at here. So we have, of course, Star Wars Starfighter, the Mandalorian movie as well. We have the revivals for Battlestar Galactica and Stargate that are both in the workshop phase. We have the call for a new Star Trek movie that's in and out there. This one's going to be made, that one's going to be made. But nevertheless, now with the new Paramount and Skydance merger, that's almost inevitable. And then, of course, we have Avatar and Dune that are just like these big juggernauts at the movies right now. So there's a lot coming up. How important are visual effects I think visual effects itself are very important for these big space operas, but do you favor practical or CGI when it comes to that? Because I think it's one of the few places where I think CGI is accepted and actually probably desired.
That's tough. I love practical effects. And I know if it looks, cheesy or not, I still feel like Jurassic Park still holds up very well to me.
I agree.
With the mixture of both. But man, Avatar, what a beautiful freaking world that is.
Yeah.
And James just kills it with the motion capture. So, I'm going to say it's pretty important to me. I mean, I love I'm going to bring up Dune and Avatar this whole segment really, but even with the sandworms just popping up like out of the desert, and it looks phenomenal to me. So I guess if it's done beautifully, I think it's very important.
I think practical effects does have a place to play if we look at like Guardians of the Galaxy. They built the Nowhere set for episode or for 3 and for the Christmas special, and that really made it feel like a living world. So I think you can use practical effects very Skeleton Crew did a great job of practical effects as well too, where that ship felt so tactile, like I could almost feel those switches that they're switching inside the ship. And I think when you can balance the two, because I think Star Trek, for example, does such a great job with their CGI that it's like the walls could be plain inside because it's okay. I know you guys are going to put all in the CGI at the outside of the ship. But for finding that balance is important. But I think it's one of the few places where, like, if you falter in the CGI, it will destroy the movie. Marvel, if they fuck up the CGI, then we're just like, man, I'm the one dropping F-bombs. If they mess with the CGI, then you can be like, well, that character looks bad. But if you do that with the ship that the movie's about, that's a problem. So I think it's a little bit more worrisome, when it comes to sci-fi stuff. And then let's look over kind of the building blocks for this and see what parts of space operas we like. So some of the core elements, that ensemble cast, I go back to Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that found family thing with Guardians of the Galaxy is so top notch and might be our new Star Wars. Like what I'm saying is like the Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Leia trio. I think we find that kind of companionship within Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay. And you think this will like lead up to a new?
I think that's why that movie has
a set of movies.
Well, I think that's why those movies have longevity. I think that's one of the things, frankly, if I'm being honest with you, that Avatar falters with. I don't think the characters of Avatar are as lovable as other, or endearing as other sci-fi movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that for sure. I think it's because there's a lot more comedic relief, relatability of just the human aspect out of it. I don't see. Yeah, I see that actually. I mean, I don't love to say anything negative about one of the greatest franchises ever made ever, but yeah, it's definitely more enjoyable to watch this like ragtag group of Guardians of the Galaxy than it is watching Sully trying to be one with the Na'vi, which I fucking would love to just pay my body and be one with him. But yes,
well, but I think he follows. So if you don't have that ensemble cast, I think you have to have like the hero, and so I think he falls on that side because I think you have. And I think Dune falls under that too. Like Paul Atreides, unfortunately, like, hey, Zendaya is incredible, but I think she's always going to play second fiddle. As much as they could try to fix the character, I think from Frank Herbert's version, I think Chaney, the character, is always going to be behind Paul Atreides. Never match him. And then Paul, of course, sets up his son to also be pretty amazing. But yeah, I think that's this thing where like you can have those hero characters, but you're banking the entire franchise on that character, so they better do well, Yeah,
that's a good observation because I think that's what the difference is when you have a group kind of coming together and having these like silly wits and then like being the team that they can be to save the world or whatever. It's definitely a different feel. I like that. That's a good observation. I never thought of it
because
like
that. Star-Lord, I would say, is like supposed to be that one hero character for the Guardians of the Galaxy, but he's too flawed to be so good of a character, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, and all these other characters have their moments, whether it's funny or just like a little action pack or even saving the team, which is like group comes in at the end. What was it? That was the first one.
Oh, the first one when he does like the we are group moment. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like they have their moments instead of just that one specific character having all the moments.
Yeah. One of the things that we talk about often when we talk about Star Trek, especially over at Trek Freaks, guys, check that out. That's in the archives. Is how sci-fi is used to put a lens on our current situation. And I think that's another thing that space operas don't do well is they kind of let you see all the spectacle, but then tell you like, hey, maybe capitalism shouldn't be so greedy. And I think that's the thing with Avatar, right? Like if you guys were to go there, find unobtainium and farm it reasonably, you'd be fine. Everybody would have unobtainium and be fine. But instead, they got to get that military asshole to come in and just start burning down the Na'vi. And they're just like, there were better ways. Like, listen to Sigourney Weaver. She's the one that's correct.
If you want to do it a capitalist way, if there's something that the Na'vi would like from us, just make a deal where they farm the material for you and you provide them with something and you got commerce there.
I think unfortunately it's just the human aspect. You're getting how do you pull everyone, right? And there's going to be the type of people that are like, let's just take over. And then you get the ones logical ones like, hold on, we could work something out together.
Especially if you could hire the Na'vi in some way, to hire trade with them. They don't need the suits to farm stuff. Like they live on that planet. So it's definitely more cost effective to work with the Na'vi than it is to work against them.
But you almost said it, to use them to make them into slaves.
There it is. He's in his military.
I need that unobtainium, damn it.
Tearing trees down.
Is there any other big space opera themes and lessons that you think really shine to you and should be echoed again?
Like we touched on earlier with short circuits and Data and the Doctor and Star Trek, is this whole like life isn't what we think it is, but life can be so much more. Okay. So there could be AI life and digital life, and like we've talked about before, but like other planets might not have oxygen and, you know, living creatures in the way that we understand life, but they could have a type of sentience, like a type of, you know, intelligence that, you know, it's made out of rocks or a gas in the air, some crazy thing that we don't understand. But I like being able to explore that concept through sci-fi. But I think the most understandable version that, you know, people would relate with now would be AI and technology developing its own consciousness. So I think that would be good to see.
I think one of the big ones that we see with Dune, and we talked about it a little bit, is the idea of this blind faith in religion and how you need to have some skepticism in the right way of, like, I mean that, you know, in a friendly way, is you need to think about what you're being told and not blindly believe something or someone or whatever to unhealthy degree. I mean, like, Paul Atreides, we're rooting for him, and he's even telling you, like, I'm going to become the leader of an empire that's going to kill a lot of people if you let me. And they're just like, no, but we want you to, we need you to. And then at some point he's taking all these poor Fremen off of Dune. They're built for Dune, for Arrakis, I'm sorry. He takes them off of Arrakis and they go start invading the rest of the world and the galaxy. And he's like, I told you this is going to happen, guys. And then he takes the juice and he's like, all right, I guess it's time for this to happen now. And the whole movie's telling you this. And like, I was talking to Squeaks about this. Like Thomas, afterwards, we talked a long time about that, like the complexity of that story, that you're not supposed to like Paul at the end. He has become a bad guy. And it sucks because you're like, no, but I like Paul. And it's like, exactly. You know,
you're slowly watching Darth Vader take power and you're on his side for some reason.
My favorite scene with Anakin Skywalker isn't him like having fun or falling in love with Padme. It's him walking up with the 501st behind him, about to kill a bunch of Jedi.
Children.
That's my favorite visual of him.
Frank, you brought up a good point where like it's this broad of sci-fi movies where it's like family friendly too with Galaxy Quest, but I'm gonna bring up a comedy one that I would like to see kind of come back and do its thing, and that's gonna be Mars Attacks. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm ready for a new one. I can just
definitely
be
not family oriented because there's a lot of dying in those.
I'm just saying there's a lot of comedy though, and I think I mean I'm picturing like a Seth Rogen, like a studio version of him.
Oh yeah,
and just being this comedic, like just this hilarious movie. I mean I would love to see like a comedy side of the sci-fi movies again.
Yeah.
True. Like Coneheads was such a good movie.
Yeah.
Imagine something don't do reboot of that, but you know, like Frank said, a spiritual successor of that kind of movie would be great.
When he's golfing at the end to like beat the big monster that's in the thing with him, and he's just like humming the song of like, I am so here for this. It's so good. I think it's good that we're getting these space operas coming back. I'm so happy for it. It's what got me into sci-fi in a lot of ways. Watching Star Trek, something about like watching Star Trek Voyager and just seeing Voyager when they do those big panning shots. It's a classic thing where they always show the outside of the ship panning. You see it like going through the nebula and it's kind of making that wake, and it opens up so much of your imagination. And I think that's a really good thing for like the next generation to have, is movies that open up their imagination and then tell you that like found family is family and stuff like that. So I think that's all big hallmarks. So I want to leave the listeners with this. What is your favorite space opera series? And I want to hear your pitches for the next Star Trek movie, because I think that's our big franchise that really is going to see a resurgence with the Skydance. I'm optimistic that they're going to see a resurgence with Skydance now merging with Paramount. And so leave that in your guys' comments and leave that on social media. Let us know. But I think that's the next big question is where's the next Star Trek movie coming from? All right, let's get into our interview with the folks from Distance Nerd. Today I'm joined by Liam.
Hello, I'm Liam.
We also got Jen.
Hello there, geeky, nerdy, fantasy community.
There we go. A little bit of it. Sci-fi guys, go kick rocks. And then we got...
sci-fi too.
Then we got Matt, also known as Graveyard. How you doing, Matt? How you doing, Graveyard?
Hello. Thank you for having me. Where am I? Who are you people? Oh.
Good question. These people are from Distance Nerding, of course, members of the network. You guys have talked to two of them already. Here are the other three. Distance Nerding, you guys have been going at this for a long time, since 2020. You're a live podcast. You are from the cuff and everything like that. What are some of the things you've learned about podcasting since you guys started? What, 5 years ago now at this point? Let's start with you, Liam. What are some of the things you've learned?
Just kind of the importance of networking and all of that. I don't know. I hadn't really been on any podcasts before, and so I joined a little later. I think I know I did like 2 years. I think after they started it, but yeah, I mean it's been interesting. It's been fun. I think I don't know. It's a different kind of medium than I was used to because I'm used to doing film and writing and all that. And podcasting is it's interesting. It's just different. So I don't know. So yeah, the importance of networking, the importance of kind of being expressive in a in your voice and your vocality and all of that. So yeah.
That's a good point. Networking is so vital, especially when you're trying to build community. Like that's a big part of podcasting nowadays. You become more than
exactly.
Graveyard, with you, what have you learned and how have you changed? How have you updated yourself over these years?
Yeah, so a little background, as I used to YouTube back in the day, little skits, stuff like that, and kind of skipped it for 10 years. So I go, oh, this YouTube's going nowhere. And so shame I made. But I've been part of Distance Learning for about 3-ish years now. And I had started my own podcast with my other co-host, another show that I do, and became part of Kyber Cave through that, and then became a part of Distance Learning as well. So it's actually my third podcast network at this point in time. And they really have taught me, especially with the build, interviewing people, that I was able to take my knowledge of horror and what I do over there with young Phil when he's building Legos and interviewing people. I was able to take that and apply it and create my own horror themed interview show. And we're almost 100 episodes in on that. And I think I've done, 150 with Distance Learning at this point in time.
Yeah.
So
that's a big part of it. The Thursday show, The Build, is that a big part of what you do too, The Build?
Yeah. I'm generally not on the Tuesday. I'm not usually on the downloads just because scheduling stuff. But we started doing the Build. I started joining Phil. We started doing brackets and having fun nerdy stuff too. And just in case our guest doesn't go the full 2 hours, and we just have fun with it and just geek out on all these what if scenarios and growing with that, and now also growing into our gaming live channel as well that we're working on. We're starting doing the reallys, the Jap Nerdy that we started making, and starting playing Jackbox, and just kind of growing our brand as well into just a safe place for geeks to have fun.
Yeah, a lot of what you guys do reminds me of how you would hang out with your geek friends on like during recess or at work. Where you're just like, who would want to fight, Green Lantern or Magneto, and you just go at it. I love that stuff. It's great.
Jen, despite chat being wrong sometimes.
The chat is often wrong. I will be first to fight against the chat. They get to hide behind usernames. We have to put our face on cameras. Jen, you got filmmaker. You've got an experienced YouTuber and podcaster here. You've got comics underneath your belt with fake comics and stuff like that. Can you kind of explain, how'd you join Distance Nerding? How have you changed over these years? What have you learned? And what other products have you been dipping your toes into?
Okay, so that's a lot of questions. I'll try to answer them. I have been a comic book nerd for over 50 years. I've always really liked superheroes.
Yeah.
I used to work in volunteer registration, artist registration, exhibitor registration for San Diego Comic-Con. I had a podcast before called Elseworlds. It's no longer a thing. And we basically did the same thing. We would read comics and then just talk about our comics. I started watching New Rock Stars.
Oh yeah, we all have.
Ages ago.
That's how we met.
That's how Gravy and I met.
That's the origin of a lot of us, really.
Yeah, actually. And Gravy and I met and became friends with a mod. I was one of the mods for their live show, for the New Rockstars live show. And we kind of all just gelled.
Yeah.
And then Gravy and I moved over to Kyber Cave and then met the Distance Nerding guys through that. And then a legend was born.
Yeah.
And the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah, and Distance Learning is the perfect name for that kind of thing, right? Because again, you guys connected through online communities and you've built one your own yourself. What are some of the things about your guys' community that stands out unique from, say, the Screen Rant or the New Rock Stars or everybody else out there? What's something unique about Distance Learning that you guys provide? Yeah,
We're the fans of Screen Rant and we're the fans of New Rock Stars, and we have a voice as well. And we want to be that voice for the larger community, and we fully engage with them.
Bro, I
don't
don't
know.
think, but we're a lot more casual, a lot more like, as you said,
Yeah.
how you talk to your geek friends or whatever about
exactly.
various things. That's kind of what we're aiming to go for, is more of a, just more casual.
What else do you think you take the niche for? And then we're going to ask Liam and Jen, get ready. You guys are next.
No, I mean, yeah, definitely horror is my thing. That's my role. That's my persona. That's Graveyard in the nutshell. Even making independent horror movies and stuff like that. But, I am a huge Marvel fanboy. Frey will tell you that I'm desperately writing to Kevin Feige about Mojo coming into the MCU. and so, yeah,
I love
played by
Mojo.
Jim Carrey. Played by Jim Carrey.
Of course.
But yeah, sci-fi is another huge part of me that I don't get to show on my other shows that I do. Distance Learning gives me the opportunity to show the non-horror geek that I really am. I have a horror sleeve, but I have an entire sci-fi leg that generally doesn't get seen because I don't have my leg up on camera.
No, yeah.
Despite what people want. That's the OnlyFans. But
subscribe today.
Yeah, exactly. But I think I can take that knowledge of talking to people, interviewing people, and apply it, and then geek out on kind of anything that people comes up with our interview process. Because I do a lot of research, just like Phil does, and able to have conversations with stuff I may not know a lot about. By doing heavy research, I'm able to have an hour and a half conversation with the people we have on the show.
Is there any particular, because I'm a huge sci-fi fan as well. I'm a fan of everything, a bit of a jack of all trades in that case, but is there any sort of sci-fi fandom you wish to be able to share with the other Distance Learning co-hosts that you wish they would give a shot?
My huge things, I love Stargate to no end, which we don't talk a lot of Stargate because there hasn't been Stargate news in 10 years. Also, I heavily love the Dresden Files.
Oh, wow.
Which is, well, I mean, the books are still coming out. The new one's coming out in January, but it's, it's a private supernatural investigator in Chicago that deals with all the different lores and all different, worlds that exist. They talk about the, 20 different types of vampires and 15 different types of fae, and everything goes with it. And that just scratches that fantasy itch that I have as well.
So yeah, you guys have many segments. You guys have recurring stuff going on all the time. You guys have a lot of inside jokes. What are some of the highlights you guys have seen from your guys' chat? Because unlike a lot of other podcasts that record and then, go through and edit everything, you guys do a live show. You guys have active chats going on with very active community. How does that change your guys' show, and what are some of the big benefits you've guys gotten from that?
Well, I think that the live, I've always done lives.
Yeah.
So it's weird for me to do edited stuff. And you can ask Liam because he has to edit everything. And so he's like, I had to edit 20 minutes out.
So much. I had to bring a lot of the videos we do together. I have to bring them down from like maybe 45 to 50 minutes to 20 or below. It's so much. So.
I'm a more off the cuff type of person.
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing. It's just anyway. Sorry, go talk.
But our bits usually are just really organic, like what happens during the show. James is really good about picking at something and then just like making it a bit. And I really appreciate that because I'm not good at that at all. Usually you can't keep us on track. So we need people to
James desperately tries.
He really does. Bless his heart.
Has the community come out to you guys? Because you guys are also very big in cons, and not necessarily Q3, but the show as a whole. Have you noticed that there's a bit more interaction with the community that's in chat, meeting in real life to see you guys at these cons or anything like that? Has that become pretty regular for you guys?
It's about 50-50.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good. The 50-50 is great, though. That's really good showing up.
We'll get some after the cons, and people will come and subscribe and things like that. And then the ones that are really interested stay and kind of become our live chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, we usually like the DeLongs. They're so desperate to meet me. And I'm like, eventually I'll get out there. I don't know when, but
yeah.
Well, and I think, with, being in the Chicago area, I just call me, Garth from Wayne's World. I will wear all the merch all the time everywhere I go. So whether I'm promoting my own horror thing and my own podcast, I always have the distance learning hat on. And I always talk to other creators because there's horror people, there's comic creators, there's writers and stuff like that. So even here in Chicago, I'm handing out all this learning stuff I possibly can just to get people onto the show. We do cross promotions. Someone comes to my show, I'll get them on the bill as well. I'll just have a longer conversation and just a different nerdy conversation with them. And, trying to represent, us, this story is West Coast, but here in the Midwest, or the three of us are, we are trying to grow and get more people, interested in what we do. So I'm always wearing the hat.
Is really good because we were talking about like community engagement before too.
Yeah.
I think the chat really helps with that. It being live and people be able to kind of react in real time helps with that community engagement. Helps people feel like, oh, I was having a conversation with my friends. I'm just, whatever. And I think again that helps build the community into a more casual space, a more fluid space that isn't, so like we're telling you this and then you're going to be below us in the comments reacting to it or whatever. It's like it's not that. It's all a milieu of there's all of us are equal. All of us are, talking about all these things together.
Yeah, I think
milieu.
I did just use milieu.
Fancy as hell. That's a $10 word. That's so fancy.
Yeah, and I think
James doesn't know what that means.
But I think what sets us apart with the live stuff, this is why we do a lot of live things, is that I'll compare it to stage improv versus film. When you're on stage, you have improv.
That's good.
When it's live, you have the reactions. The reactions right away, so you're able to see that in real time and kind of adjust for it on the fly. So you have a joke that's a bit, or you make say random ass Star Wars theory that gets 45,000 nerds upset on the internet, like I did. That you're able to see that in real time versus film. You can write comedy, but you don't know if it's funny until it goes in front of live audience. But at that point in time, it's already said and done.
Yeah.
Not much you're gonna be able to change. And with live, you have that improv, that impromptu, and just running to get that bit that is there. We have a running bit of Superman and being in 50 Shades of Kryptonite.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I did not remember that, but okay.
But yeah, it's just that off the cuff stuff. And like I said, it's live is better for that. We're unedited. We are ourselves.
Yeah.
Right.
With it being live though, there does seem to be a lot of chances for some struggles, right? With quality maybe jipping or something like that. Or sometimes like same thing with improv, you just don't know what to say. The yes ands don't lead anywhere. Has there been any challenges you guys have seen with trying to do a live show like that? What do you think?
We're all pretty opinionated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's it. Sometimes we make the things that don't land the best bits ever, though. And I think that is actually, I think that's a real big, it can be a struggle, but it's also like the whole monk thing. It's a blessing and a curse.
Right. Okay.
So, and I feel like that happens.
Yeah. Playing up the missteps. Like for us, it's like a lot of times for us, like we'll joke around, like when we don't know something, we force somebody to Google it. And then that kind of becomes a bit like that they're Googling something. And well, yes, in the real manufactured situation is that like, shit, we didn't know. But if we play it up, it works as part of the show, makes
Huckleberry.
Oh, the Huckleberry thing. That was hilarious. Best bit I ever did.
But I think improv's actually a really good comparison because that is really what we're doing. It's just improv. And it is kind of knowing, oh, this got a laugh. Oh, this entertained everybody. Let's keep doing it. Let's keep bringing that bit back or whatever. I think that really is good to know and good to realize.
How does that work in comparison? Have you guys recorded in person for Distance Learning? You probably all have with your own personal podcast on the side, but have you done that in person? And does the Zoom aspect, or I'm sure, let's say the online aspect, hurt or help that?
Yeah.
I would say that with Zoom and StreamYard, all this stuff, that it's because we're so used to the distance learning that all our stuff is generally online. Okay. And, I actually find myself when I'm at cons or, I'm going to a 4th year in a row of not hosting, but presenting the movie at a horror movie marathon, I find that a lot more difficult standing on stage in front of people than potentially being viewed by dozens or hundreds of people online. It's much easier because it's more, yes, it's still you. Yes, it's still live. Yes, you still can't take back. You can't go, oh, edit, cut that out, clip it. But I think it's easier to do it online just because you are just staring at people on a screen. I would love to all of us get together to do a con. I'd love to sit at the panel. I'm hoping to go next year to Jim say, talk to the wife about it. But I think it's just, it hits differently in this online age.
I mean, yeah, I mean, to a certain degree, I had some very basic experience in like high school with theater and whatnot. And I never really had a lot of stage fright or anything. That was always kind of just, oh, I'm out here. I enjoy presenting and being seen and all that. But yeah, it is different online. It is a little bit lower pressure. And it's just, oh yeah, I'm just hanging out with my friends or whatever. It's not, oh, there's a bunch of people watching me and judging me and literally everything I do and whatever. No. So yeah, I agree with that.
Well, guys, again, this is from Distance Learning. I hope you guys can go ahead and check them out. They have new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday, and they can have more YouTube content coming out all the time. So make sure you guys check that out. Again, Distance Learning, all the links in the description and on our freaking website, including all the bios. So make sure you guys check that out. Thank you guys very much for being with me today. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for having us.
It was an honor.
All right, again, that is Distance Nerding. Thank you to Jen, Grave, and Liam for joining me. Their podcast is part of our Geek Freaks network. We are very proud of the work they do there. They are all hustle, and we have an extended version of this interview over on the standalone interview feed, links in the description. So if you want to hear about another 30-ish minutes of us chit-chatting about geek culture, come hang out with us. The extended interview is out right now. They're also going to be, let's go ahead and get into the network news with this too. They're going to be doing the Crocker Museum CrockerCon. I'm going to be joining James for that. We're going to be doing panels, interviewing a bunch of comic book writers and artists. That'll be in Sacramento if you guys want to participate at the end of September 20th. So join us for that. That's CrockerCon. And I'll be there too and interviewing people. That'll be fun. The Disney Moms just released an episode called Out of My Mind. Jonathan, you had a chance to watch that movie, and Susan says you cried a lot during that one.
And I didn't realize when I started watching it with her, it was already like a third of the way in or something like that. But yeah, very emotional movie. Just pulls on the heartstrings. But it's about a girl with disability and her struggle, just to be seen and get the needs or her needs met in school and stuff like that. But yeah, really good movie.
It's a different
the discussion's good too.
Different kind of movie for them to cover, but they did a very good job with it. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
Over at Challenge Accepted, we're talking about James Gunn's Suicide Squad, getting ready for Peacemaker Season 2. And then Fandom Portals just did Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio with Tia Jackson. Tia came on to talk about that. And then Anime Plus is talking about Netflix and anime and going over the live-action adaptation for Solo Leveling. It's a new series that they're going to be working on after, of course, the Solo Leveling anime. So join that as well. Now, James Gunn this week, or you thought the news was done, it's not. James Gunn this week came out and was really bashing on people, saying, you guys got to stop listening to all this fake news about Batman movie and other DC projects. I know the real news, and it's not, guaranteed that Robin's coming back or this or that or that. And I thought, you know what, let's have fun with this, because I have to shift through and look for the sources on everything. It's a lot of work on my side. But I see other people just post this shit without looking it up. And so I'm like, let's do that ourselves. Let's just post shit without looking it up. So
I like it.
we're each going to make up a fake DCU story, post it on our personal accounts. Jonathan, I know you don't have a personal account much, but you're going to have to...
You can post for me.
There you go. Your personal accounts, and whoever gets the most likes by next week will be able to design the next Geek Freak shirt, and we'll give one away. If James Gunn responds, likes, retweets, anything, any of these posts, we'll do 5 of the shirts. We're going to give them away for free, and you get to design the shirt. So if literally it says Squeaks is the best, or Jonathan could beat Squeaks at anything, that's the shirt that's going out. Squeaks, do you have your fake news story that's going out there?
I do, but I don't know why you keep calling it fake, because it's not fake. It's very real. So rumors are speculating that Matt Reeves is going to be developing another Batman movie. It's going to be called Batman Crimson Moon.
Okay.
And for anybody that knows me, that's heard of this podcast, guys, Robert Pattinson back in the vampire game. Okay, this is going to be based off of Batman Red Rain. And it's going to essentially just follow like Gotham's underground vampire gang, essentially. Okay. Think of like Blade. So again, Twilight fans, we won, baby. This is it. So, I mean, I love the Robert Pattinson series with number 2 hopefully develop, but him kind of like, let's change things up a little bit, but still stay in that same universe, still have Robert Pattinson as Batman.
Yeah.
I think we got it. Yeah.
I like that because it's just believable enough. And that's what you want. That's perfect.
It is believable.
It is believable. You're right.
Truth.
I'm sorry. That is true. Here's the other true story out of the DCU. So we know that they're working on the Clayface movie, and it's going to be focusing on Clayface. Come to find out, the other character in that movie that was going to be cameo, they're expanding his role, is going to be Mr. Freeze. So Mr. Freeze originally in this story, this version of the story, in an experiment to try to save his wife, actually created this vaccine that was going to help her, and Clayface took the vaccine, and that's what changed his thing. So now Clayface is, he's pissed off with Mr. Freeze and stuff like that. But Mr. Freeze is also afraid that he's going to do a lot more damage than good. So he's actually the one that's going to try to stop Clayface. And he thinks that if he could freeze Clayface and shatter him, he'll save the day. So it's going to be a back and forth between Clayface and Mr. Freeze. And Mr. Freeze's whole thing, of course, is trying to find the cure. And he thinks that if he could just get the biology out of Clayface, he could extrapolate that and then find the cure for his wife. So yeah, come to find out, guys, Mr. Freeze is going to be the hero of the new Clayface movie. It's going to be pretty interesting. Yeah,
I like it. I'm excited about that one. Actually. Yeah. All right, I got one for you. So we all know that Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds was a major flop, right? DC's trying to pivot. They're changing directions. We've seen the Green Lantern series is being made, and we just saw Guy Gardner in Fantastic Four. Superman. Close. In a recent good movie.
That's the news story.
In Superman, yeah. So DC's doing this little pivot where the new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson, he's going to kill Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern and take his ring, just like in the comic books, and empowers Batman with Green Lantern power. It's going to be dope.
Ooh, that is a thing.
I want that to be real so bad.
And it's how they get rid of the Ryan Reynolds and start this whole new Green Lantern story for the series.
Yeah, and it combines the multiverse, and it's an Elseworlds story, so it won't mess with like Superman or anything like that. Jonathan, I've heard that too. I think you're right. I think I heard of that. Yeah.
I'm excited.
That's gonna be interesting.
I'll be waiting in theaters.
All right, guys. So we're gonna post these on our personal accounts. We'll see if we can get James Gunn to bait and retweet us. That'd be great. And then we'll start thinking of the shirts you want to design. All right, and then we'll get those shirts out there too. If you need help crafting the social media post or whatever, or make like AI images, we'll be the worst kind of people. According to anonymous sources, we'll do that whole bullshit too. That'll be fun. All right, let's end with our recommendations for the week. I'm going to start us off with King of the Hill. It's back, and I've watched the first few episodes. I'll have a review for you guys next week, but so far it feels like it is truly sticking to the source material as much as it could. Like the feel of it, I mean, it is spot on. And I thought like, oh, it's going to be hard. Like it's been a long time since King of the Hill was out, and politically we're much more divided than before. It nails it. I mean, it really does skirt that line exactly down the center. You can find love for this no matter who you like and stuff like that. It's a really good show. So check out King of the Hill, guys. It's really well crafted. Yeah. What are you guys' recommendations?
I'm going to say Dope Thief. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on Apple TV. I've been watching that lately. It is really good. If you like Breaking Bad and Narcos and stuff like that, it's not so fictional. It seems very believable. Yeah, plausible. Just great acting. It's just such a, I think really the directing is what's nailing it, but it's just such a serious situation that they're in. Yeah, it's just really good. I'm only on like episode 6 or 7 already. But good show. Check it out. Apple TV,
Yeah.
Dope Thief.
Okay.
Apple TV is like a sneaker when it comes to
You think
series.
they would advertise their
Amazing
shows? They never do. All they do is just win awards. Freaking Studio. John, have you watched Studio yet with Seth Rogen?
No, I've seen it. I've seen
check it
trailers
out.
of it. I
Enjoy.
haven't watched it yet.
And I'll tell you this beforehand because it changed how Squeaks watched the show too. The key to that show is the oneers, the one shot, continuous shots without breaking at all.
Yeah.
That show has a lot of them, and when you watch it knowing that, it creates this anxiety. That's the purpose.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, my recommendation is going to be Wednesday. For someone that didn't really give a shot for season 1 due to like the direction it was going, skipped it. I started season 2, almost about to wrap up this first part 1. I guess that's what we're doing. Netflix is that's going to be like the new thing they do. Really, really, really good. I enjoy it. I find myself really liking it. So yeah, definitely Wednesday. Check that out. Even again, if you didn't really care for season 1, season 2 seems like it's in a better direction.
Yeah, after King of the Hill, that's what I'm going to be watching. I'm excited because I watched all of season 1 and I thought it was good, but I didn't want so much of the teen drama. And then, are you feeling like they're focusing more on the macabre?
I feel like they found a balance.
Good.
Like they found a way to bring the family into that teen drama where the drama doesn't seem so teenish no more. It seems like next level, but it's still with the aspects of the school. But the family's more heavily involved, like in the school. I guess you could say kind of like your mom showing up to PTA meetings or some shit.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for your assistance there, Squeakers. I gotta remember, guys, it's his new name is Squeakers.
That's gonna be a shirt, Squeakers.
If Jonathan wins, that's gonna be the shirt of Squeakers.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's Geek Freaks. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.